Welcome to Cover Slaves, the show where we used to post videos on YouTube and we stopped for a while. But here we are again.
Yeah.
Kill Team did not kill us. It mortally wounded us, but...
Kill Team Elite killed us.
Yes, yeah. Will probably kill us.
Yeah, it'll also get us banned from Facebook groups.
Apparently if you do nothing but critique the possibility of said expansion, you may get kicked out of several Facebook groups.
Specifically with memes.
Yes, yeah. Crayfish was one of the better ones. So yeah, we're playing 30k. Triumphant Return. Not a big game. We're doing 2,000 points aside, which, as you may or may not know, 30k starts at 1750, I believe.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty small.
Just getting into it. I will be playing my usual account as Iron Warriors, the Sons of the Sigillite. And Clarence, what are you playing today?
I'm playing mechanicum.
Mechanicum, nice to see.
Yeah, important to note, we're kind of like, as Ben said, we're starting off small.
Yes.
And it's because our next game we're going to have 1,000 points of allies each.
Yeah, so 3,000 total.
Yeah, 1,000-ish.
Yep.
And so this is kind of going to be like the base, you know, easing ourselves back into it.
Yeah, it's kind of been a while since we played anything big. Kill Team has been keeping our time.
Yeah.
But it should be fun getting allies in here eventually. Hopefully that'll be the next video. We could talk about the terrain of the board or something.
Well, I think we're seeing a new piece of terrain on the board today. It's this one. It looks very cool. It's made out of
the Kill Team box.
Yeah, from the Kill Team terrain. Does slightly suffer from wide window syndrome, but
yeah, it also looks like they made it for like the old Inquisitor scale models because it's a bit tall.
Yeah.
Nothing will have too much trouble fitting in there. We know Castellax will fit in there.
Exactly. A bunch of cool things.
Yeah, I guess for our purposes, we don't play with much melting through walls, so it has a pretty particular path through it.
Like one path.
There's a one door we might melt through there. I think that's it. There's also one on this side, yeah.
No. Is that a door? Yeah, it is. Okay.
I think those are the only ones that'll work like that, though, because everywhere else it's either solid, ruins, or whatever else. We've got some foliage on the board, one color, 5-up cover, I think.
Yeah.
You can't really go in them. They're mostly 60 mils covered with foliage, so they would just give you cover going through. Got an old AOS or Warhammer Forest.
Yeah, no, it's not that old. There's still in production.
So that's been fun. Jason painted that. That looks good. Got some of the newer Mechanicum terrain. Most stuff's just going to be impassable, I think. Some stuff that's ruins would give a benefit if you've got my Warlord trait, at least.
Yeah.
Conquer City. So yeah, we're seeing 4+ 5-up cover, depending. We don't have any wrecks on the board. These guys, the 2 wrecks we have, are just going to be played as impassable.
Yeah, we're going to keep it simple for a return.
Yeah, we'll make it so just wrecks have the wreck rules. And then, yeah. So we'll be back with our armies. I guess we don't have to talk about terrain or even joke about talking about it. We actually talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it. It's been a year or two.
It shows how long it's been,
yeah.
But yeah, back with armies, and yeah, we're doing normal crusade, I think, right?
Yeah.
So 5 turns.
5 turns.
Do you want to do the thing we can push my turn extra? I don't care. I mean, Iron Warriors if you want.
I don't care.
Okay, so 5 turns, 3 to 5 objectives, and we're back with deployment shit and armies.
2,000 point Mechanicum Tagmata Force. It's Loyalist in case it matters. Usually doesn't. So starting off here, it's my Warlord, Archimagos Prime. He has an Abeyant. He has the Machinator Array. He has an Augury Scanner. He has a Cyber Familiar. And he's got a Chain Fist and a Photon Thruster. And he's the, whatchamacallit, Lacrimalis, which is Feel No Pain and can recycle tech throws. And his Warlord trait is the reroll 1s for shooting. Next I have a Dominus next to him. He has Augury Scanner, Machinator Array, Power Axe, and Cyber Familiar, Melter Bombs. I have Tech Adept, the Tech Priest Auxilia. He's upgraded with the Magos, so he has 2 wounds and higher toughness, I think. He's got an Augury Scanner and a Cyber Familiar. Nothing else really. He's got a Power Axe, I believe. And he has 4 servo automata with the Las locks. I have 2 squads of Ferox Thalax with the heavy chain blades. I have 2 units of 20 tech thralls, and they have the Carapace armor, We got the fearless, the hatred, the feel no pain, and slow and purposeful, and no overwatch as a result. I have 4 Myrmidon Secutors with double plasma fusils. I have 1 unit of 2 Castellex with the Darkfire Cannons and Enhanced Targeters. And I have 2 separate Krios Venators with extra armor. And that's 2,000 points.
2,000 points of Iron Warriors counting as Sons of the Sigillite. No Rite of War for this one, but my Warlord trait will be Conqueror of Cities. My Warlord up front here is a Praetor on Scimitar Jet Bike, Power Fist, Paragon Blade, Combi Melta, Combi Melta. He also has a Relic, which in this case is the Shield Harness. I've got another HQ right here, which is a Navigator. For elites, I've got 5 Terminators with 3 Chain Fists, 2 Power Swords, and a Plasma Blaster. Behind them is a Dreadnought with Twin Carries, a Contemporary Dreadnought in this case. Behind the Contemporary Dreadnought, we have 2 Quad Gun batteries that are separate. Both have Shatter Shells. Behind that, we've got a Vindicator Laser Destroyer and a Whirlwind that I've given a multi-melta to. To their right, we have 3 separate Javelin Land Speeders, each with multi-melta Typhoon missile launchers and 2 100-killer missiles each. In front of them, we've got 1, 2, 3 units of Tactical Marines, all with extra close combat weapons. Artificer on the Sergeants, as well as Melta Bombs, and the Rhinos themselves all have Combi Plasma. And yeah, that is my 2,000 point Iron Warriors counting as Sons of Sigillite list.
Alright, so we rolled short table edges and 3 objectives for deployment. So if you come on down, we can see where our objectives are. We got one here, got one here, and we got one kind of hidden by the mass of my guys. Important to note, we did the deployment, objective deployment first before we knew our deployment type or size, so just kind of ended up, it was going to be a big shit show in the middle. So Ben won the role to decide who got to deploy and choose to go first. He gave it to me because he wanted to see how I reacted, so how to react to me. So starting down over here, it's pretty simple. I've got my Thalax out in front. They're giving cover to my squishier things behind. I have my Warlord joined with my Myrmidon Secutors. I have my Magos Dominus joined with the bots. It's kind of his whole point. I have a Krios kind of hunkering down, trying to get cover from any laser destroying. And then behind him, the Krios, I have a bunch of my Tech Thralls. And I have the Tech Priest Auxilia guy behind that. He's giving a buff to the Thralls, and then on the right flank I have some more Thalax in my second Krios. And then I also have a unit in reserves. So in reserves I got my second unit of Tech Thralls. They're just going to be walking in from the edge. Simply because the space is a little constrained in this deployment type, so they'll come in when they're needed.
Deployment, I guess we'll start down over here. On my edge, I've got a quad gun right on the end of this road here. Next to it, I've got a Rhino with 10 TAC Marines still inside. Moving on down towards the loading docks, I've got a 5-man Terminator squad. Currently joined to it are both my HQs. I've got a Navigator here and my Praetor out front using his shield harness. Back behind them, I've got another Rhino with 10 Marines inside. Beside that, got a Dreadnought Contemptor with Carries, kind of hiding behind the cover. Behind him, I've got my Whirlwind Scorpius. Behind that, I've got a Javelin Land Speeder, as well as 2 more hiding behind this bridge, hugging cover. Down from the bridge, I've got my Vindicator Laser Destroyer with a very nice view down that road. And of course, next to him, I've got my last unit of Marines in that Rhino. So, that is my 2,000 points all deployed. And I guess we'll find out soon if Cleary is going to make me go first or second.
I'm going first.
Okay, so Cleary has decided to go first and try and steal the initiative live. We'll see what happens here. Oh my god! Nope. Oh, and it's Night Fight turn 1. We forgot to mention that. Back at the end of Mechanicum turn 1.
Alright, so this is the end of Mechanicum turn 1. Starting down here, I moved my Krios up into this angling shot at his Whirlwind Scorpius. I hit twice, I pinned both times on the side armor, and I unfortunately just immobilized it. So pretty much it didn't change anything that's about to happen with that tank, but the whole point was good. The Thalax moved up next to it, and I was prepping for a sick thrust, but we'll get to that later. Moving down to the clump, I had moved everyone up 6 or thereabouts to advance up the board. I started firing with my second Krios at his laser destroyer, laser vindicator. I hit and pinned with all my shots, but Ben passed a sick 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
And I shook it from that end result. So I was like, okay, it's not shooting very well at least. Next, I had shot his Praetor with my Thalaxi, and they managed to pop his Void Shield. So that's something. I was out of range to follow up with any more shooting and out of line of sight, so I kind of misjudged that. And as a result, I went to my Castellix next. I casted the Rite of Destruction on the rearmost one with my Dominus, making it shoot twice, so with another 6 shots. I stripped another hull point off of his Laser Vindicator and I immobilized it. And then finally, the only thing left to shoot was my Warlord, his Photon Thruster. I managed to glance it, he failed his cover save, and I stripped the last hull point off, giving me first blood. And then with my thrust moves from my Thalax, I rolled a 4 with both of them, so they basically just slightly repositioned. Those hopped onto the building, and the ones back here hid behind the tank like normal people do, behind their armored support. So pretty decent first turn, but we'll see at the end of Iron Warrior Sons of the Sigillite Space Marines, turn 1.
At the end of Iron Warrior Sons of the Sigillite, turn 1. Interesting turn, not the greatest, not the worst. Starting over here. So, my quad gun that didn't move. It fired way over here, attempting to engage with these guys, scattered a little bit, ended up doing a wound on him, but it was saved by Clarence's Abate.
No, you just failed the wound.
Or failed the wound, whatever,
Yeah.
same thing. Same difference.
Yeah.
Over here, the Rhino drove up, guys got out and ran up a whole 2 inches. My leader who was here flew way over there, whose shield is still very much down. Didn't engage anyone, just kind of wanted to be on the flanks to annoy the Thalax. Back over here, the Terminators moved up a little bit, getting some cover behind this. Really didn't want to have to go into the plasma gun line just yet. This Rhino drove up from here, 18, just kind of lurking, cruising still inside. Back around here, the quad gun moved up and snap fired some shadow rounds to no effect. The Dreadnought came around and unloaded his carriers down at these guys up here, killing one and putting a wound on the second guy, so that's cool. My Whirlwind engaged way over here with the Acanthite, something Thralls. Targeted here, scattered here, ended up killing 3 out of 20. Not the best, not the worst. They are very fearless, unfortunately. What else? Down over here, my speeder moved up from behind the cover of the bridge when landed the ruin and engaged with Clarence's tank, and I believe I destroyed the gun on it and shook it, so he's not too happy with that. The other 2 speeders at that point simply just boosted up 18 to where they currently are. So they still very much have their 100 killers in tow, but that one didn't. And last but not least, over here, this squad got out of their Rhino and basically just got up into the jungle there. And they're sitting on an objective. So, not the worst first turn, not the best. We'll see you at the end of Mechanicum, turn 2.
Alright, so this is the end of Mechanicum turn 2. Starting down here, my Thalax had moved up within range and taken some shots at his speeder. He didn't jink because of his cover save, and I failed to pen, so nothing happened. My heavily damaged Krios rammed his speeder and inflicted a glance on it. That's all that happened there. It later got destroyed. We'll get back to that though. Moving way down along, my other tech thralls came in from reserve. Kind of just like lined on up. And then I moved my Tech Priest up a bit. Moved my other Tech Thralls up 6 as well. I pivoted my Krios and shot at his Warlord, and I managed to do a wound. He passed his pinning test, so he'll be annoying still. But you know, it's better than nothing. I cast Rite of Destruction on the guy who was able to shoot, and I took a pot shot at his Scorpius, and I inflicted a second glance to it, so it still has a hull point, which is unfortunate. I split my Archmagos off to try and kill his Javelin in front of me. I was able to shoot with the Photon Thruster, and he passed his cover save, and I failed my charge on him. And then I unloaded with the Myrmidon Secutors onto his tactical squad. I did 23 wounds, combined with the Warlord trait, and he zapped him. And the Thalax here, they targeted his damaged speeder and managed to kill it, and then they thrusted into position to kind of cover the Myrmidons from any Terminator charging. So, pretty okay turn. Killing some of his annoying things off. We still got a lot left to go through, and we'll see at the end of Iron Warriors turn 2.
We're at the end of Iron Warriors, Sons of the Sigillite, a turn 2. Things getting better. Starting down here. The quad gun that is still not moved on the edge of this road here, engaged over here, targeting this unit, but scattering and hitting the tank, I believe, as well as this guy. Is that possible?
No, that one scattered. That one scattered and missed everything.
Right. Yeah, it was the whirlwind that did that.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so the whirlwind fired, engaged, and scattered, hitting this guy twice, putting 2 hull points on him, surprisingly, and hitting them, but they passed their wound.
Yeah.
Back over here, the Rhino disgorged 10 troops and then drove off 12. They just chilled and opened fire on Clarence's leader there on the Abeyant, and I did get a wound, but clearly saved it. Over here, the Terminators moved up, shot, and then assaulted the Thalax. Managed to cut down the 2 remaining ones in combat, and then consolidated 6 to spread out and block the road to do a full Gandalf. These guys are just lurking for the wait. The Dreadnought drove them up 6, engaged with the Myrmidon Secutors. Surprisingly, they made all their saves, I think.
I passed 5 out of 5.
Very, very well done on their part. This land speeder that's lurking in front of Cleary's leader engaged with him, and again, Cleary shrugged them all off pretty well. The land speeder behind as well engaged with Cleary's leader, also not having any effect, so that Abeyant's doing very well. Back on this side, my leader on the jet bike stormed charged the unit of Thalax, killing all 3, and then consolidated 6 inches to be there. I'm still hugging the corner, but the good news is my shield came back up, so his void shield is in full effect again. Cleary's not happy about that, but I am. So things are going okay. I've held Cleary in the center. It's going to be a battle for this objective. The backfields are pretty solid right now. I've got some disruption. Cleary may have some ability if he can break through here to come out my second line, but so far so good. And we'll see you at the end of Mechanicum, turn 3.
The end of Mechanicum, turn 3. We'll start down here. My Krios rammed the wreck, successfully exploding it, but failing to do any damage to that Javelin. Moving down to the center, my Myrmidons and my Archmagos both shot the Terminators, and between the 2 of them were able to kill off the entire unit and the Navigator, which is great. My Magos Dominus healed the tank for 1 wound, Cyber-Thurgied the battle robots, which blew off the Contemptor's left arm, which is great, but sadly nothing was able to charge as a result. But that was made up for with a mighty 12-inch charge coming down here from the Tech Thralls, who are just going to grind down the Praetor, hopefully, or keep him locked up. And everyone else is kind of, like advanced up and marched up the board. So pretty good turn for me. We'll see at the end of Iron Warriors turn 3.
Here we are at the end of Iron Warriors, Sons of the Sigillite, turn 3. Starting over here. This quad gun that is still very much not moving. Targeted, I believe, what are they called?
The Myrmidons?
Myrmidon Secutors. Strayed a little bit. but still got some wounds over here that were passing by Cleary. Doubled down again with the second quad gun, targeting the same area. I think I had a little bit better luck there.
Yeah.
But it was this fellow here, the Whirlwind Scorpius, targeting this fine guy here who ended up taking out, I think, the leader of the Myrmidon Secutors, as well as one other. So he's down to 2. Put a few wounds on the Castellax, also put another hull point on the tank. What's it called?
The Krios.
Krios. So, doing okay. Blocked off here, the center, just so I could have a little extra time holding the objective. Moved the speeder up to do much the same, and also fired into there helping out. The Krios did what it could with one of its 2 guns. Its left carries is certainly down, so he kind of... Contemptor, sorry. Hug cover, and then engage that way. Over here, they consolidated a little bit back in from the jungle towards the objective, and are just hugging cover behind the Rhino. On this end, that Javelin moved up behind the Krios and engaged with Cleary's leader, but unfortunately didn't do anything. Moving down, the zombie horde that's surrounding my leader, I cut down, I think, 3 or 4? 2. And they did nothing back, so I'm slowly slicing through that unit, but I may not have enough time. Last but not least, the Rhino that was behind here drove up to attempt to contest that objective, but we'll see how long it lives. So all in all, not doing terrible. It's an interesting game. We'll see you at the end of Mechanicum turn 4.
Alright, so this is the end of Mechanicum turn 4. Pretty interesting turn, if I say so myself. So, first things first, starting down here with the clump. If you notice, I have both my characters touching my Krios. They both used Battlesmith and repaired their destroyed weapons. So my Krios' guns came back online for my shooting phase.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah. And even though I did do that, his Rhino soaked up the firepower of literally everything right here without exploding or dying. It was a little sour. The explosion killed one of his Marines and put a wound on my Warlord. And the South Krios killed his Rhino. So that was the conclusion of an entire turn's worth of firepower. It was I killed some Rhinos.
There's one more dead Rhino.
Yeah, and down there I moved up my Tech Thralls. They charged into his Rhino that was coming in to block me, and with the hatred and all of them in range and hitting on 3s for once, I managed to hull point it out just because of the sheer weight of numbers. And then in the final battle down here, he killed another 3 Tech Thralls. I did nothing back, but it's looking like he's going to be held for a while at the very least. So it's still pretty close. Ben still has 2 objectives to my 1, but we'll see how it goes and see you at the end of Iron Warrior turn 4. So
here we are at the end of Iron Warrior Sons of the Sigillite turn 4. Starting over here. Now, every once in a while they get to tell an interesting story. This guy who's been shooting all game finally landed a target, and he hit, how many clearly? 16?
16.
Killed 5, but it felt good.
Yeah, especially since I have a really good save.
Second thud gun attempted to replicate the magnificence of the first. Cleary made all 6 saves, I think, or 5 saves.
It was 5, yeah.
I targeted here. So again, we went with my Whirlwind Scorpius. Threw that down. Scattered way the hell over here into nothing and did nothing. Over here, I moved my guys out of the way to make room for the Dreadnought, who shot his Karis and fired at the Castellax. I think I did a wound or 2, maybe?
You did 2.
2 wounds. Felt good. And then he struck back, putting a hull point on me. But I got very lucky there. I also had fired the speeder into the Secutors, but did not kill them. Down there, my guys just tucked into cover behind the melted Rhino, just to make sure they're on that objective. Over around here, I managed to kill another 4 of them, but there's still 4 left, so I will be stuck there till the end of the game. I also took a wound, so I only have 1 wound left in my Warlord. And then I moved a speeder here, and then here. I probably got too close, but I'm currently contesting the objective, although Cleary will likely charge me in his turn. So yeah, I still control 2 objectives. Neither Warlord is dead. Cleary does have first blood, but in theory it's anyone's game. We'll see you at the end of Mechanicum turn 5.
Alright, so this is the end of Mechanicum turn 5. We'll start down over here. So the Krios here, he shot his unit, hit every time. wounded every time, and Ben failed all of his 5-up cover saves, so I was able to kill the sergeant off. And then I proceed to wipe the rest off with the plasma secutors. My leader shot and charged his land speeder, killing that. My Krios tried to tank shock his way through, or ram his way through the wreck. I failed the armor pen, then I tried to snapshot with his gun into the wreck as well, and he didn't hit at all, so he just kind of sat there this turn. And then moving down onto the backfield, I charged his land speeder with both units. The tech adept inflicted a glance with his power axe, and then the tech thralls just managed to squeak out one more hull point and take it down. So I'm very happy I charged in the thralls and the other guy, and then his praetor killed one more tech thrall. And I didn't manage to pull him down yet. I'm hoping that will happen next turn. And we'll see you at end of Iron Warrior turn 5 and the end of the game.
So here we are at the end of Iron Warriors, Sons of the Sigillite, turn 5, and the end of the game. Starting over here. There was literally no movement this movement phase, so I just started right at the shooting. This quad gun targeted over here. In fact, both quad guns targeted over here, in addition to the beautiful and obviously not dead Scorpius. I managed to nick the wreck that was here, as well as hit 17 of the Ad Secularis thralls. So, with a combination of, I think, 17 wounds plus another it was 11 from the explosion.
Yeah.
Basically, through a miraculous occurrence of events, I managed to wipe the Ad Secularis unit, taking Cleary off this objective. I am currently the only objective holder with this one unit of Tactical Marines. And in combat over here, I finally slew the last of the Ad Secularis with my leader. I didn't consolidate because it was the end of the game. So, Clearance got First Blood.
Mm-hmm.
No one got Warlord. I think no one has Linebreaker.
No.
So it's pure objectives. It's 3 VP to 1 VP for First Blood. So good game, Clarence. We'll see you in the post-game show. Welcome to the post-game show. As always, I'm crablezworth, and I'm joined with Clarence. You just watched us play a 2,000 point battle report and didn't fast forward because you're busy painting and not really paying attention anyway.
Yeah.
Clarence, give me your MVP.
So, I don't know, that's a tough pick.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my units I felt like did a really good job.
Secutors.
The Secutors both like excelled from like shooting shit, and they more importantly though, they survived to shoot them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I passed
in the end?
Yeah, 2
Pretty
left.
good.
I passed a lot of saves, both invul, armor, like constantly.
And they wiped 2 whole units.
3.
3.
They did 2
Rhino,
units of
yes,
Marines. Yeah. No, your 2 units of TAC Marines pretty much.
Yeah.
Your Terminators, the
right,
Navigator, the
yes,
Rhino. So
fine.
5 really.
Yeah, so Fusillade of Fire.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
I really don't have a good... Maybe the Thalax, one of the 2 units of Thalax. The Thalax down here.
Yeah, they didn't do much.
They died. Yeah, they got... All 3 of them got instant death by your Paragon Blade. So yeah.
They're worse at fighting than the tech thralls.
Yeah, they are. Well, they don't charge there.
2 minutes or less, your thoughts on the game?
So, it was a really fun game. We haven't played 30k in a while.
Too long.
Yeah, it was too long. And we had a pretty good table. It was really good. We had a decent amount of points to start with, like 2,000. It's not getting too crowded. And it was a really fun mission. It was a really big fucking grind in the middle for like the entire game. Ben was relentless with trying to stall me out. And he did a good job.
Just putting rhinos in between us.
Yeah, and really I think, the game was fun. We both made like the right decisions.
Yeah.
And the only thing I think I could have done differently, I kind of mentioned it earlier to him off camera, is that it's like my plan was to try to like tank shock through and push him off the objective and contest it and do something with that with my Krios, and that's a pretty fair thing because it would be making him react to it and putting pressure on him to finish the game. Maybe he would have shot the Scorpius, or who knows. But what I should have done is I should have moved it back to one of its earlier positions and shot into the side of the Scorpius to guarantee
game would be safer.
No sort of damage on my tech thralls, because the now nerfed quad mortars can't quite do enough to kill them.
5-5.
And it only had 1 hull point left.
So I was really impressed when you repaired everything.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that when
because usually in this game, not all the time, but usually when you repair stuff, you can't always make use of it till the next turn.
Yeah.
But with this, you can. So it was like repaired. I can shoot. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it says. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
It's great though. It's fantastic. It's a reason to actually repair something. Because usually at 40k, it's like you're repairing an immobilized result. That's about it. Maybe weapon, but usually I don't know. It depends.
It helps that like it doesn't feel like you're wasting slots on getting like. It just comes with the machinator array. It gives you +2 to Battlesmith.
Yep.
You have Battlesmith. Like
it's almost a second thought. You just can if you need to.
And because of the machinator array allows you to shoot a second gun, like 2 guns or split.
Yep.
So lets you still shoot a weapon and repair. Give up one of those shots to repair,
which is nice.
So it's not really like you're wasting anything. The biggest trick to using it is getting to base contact.
Yeah.
First place here, I had to kind of like make sure I wasn't getting within the inch, making sure I was still able to get like arc on what I wanted.
Yeah, it's tough with a hull-based weapon.
Yeah,
you have to make sure that's part of it.
And it still worked out pretty well. But yeah, no, it was a fun game. I told Ben like, listen, like this is how you can still win. Like if the Scorpius hits and
I didn't
crushes the unit, and he hit with both shots. He only got 2 shots, but he hit with both of them.
Yeah.
And that's really what sealed it.
Yeah, it's the one time you have a unit that's that tightly wound up.
And the follow-up explosion.
Yes.
If I passed one more save, I still would have possibly had the game. But no, that's the way she goes.
It was super close too, like 3-1. Also, I mean, you came within 1 wound of killing my warlord, and my warlord's got a relic, and we play relics as each one you take gives you additional VP. So you can take as many as you want, but if you take 5 relics, you're worth like 6 VP.
Oh, so your character's probably like 600 points at that point.
Exactly. So it's like it's sort of like it fixes itself usually, but it's scary, man. Once you got that last wound down, I'm like, fuck. If I get taken out by thralls, like, oh.
Well, he's died to thralls before. If I remember
oh god, yes, I remember that.
The first
stuck in that factory.
Well, yeah, because I shot you the first time, right? I think I remember that game. I shot you. I took a wound off him from shooting with like 20 guys. And you just got like bogged down by them. They stripped a couple wounds off.
And I think I had feel no pain that game too, and it still didn't matter because you kept making yours. I didn't.
Warlord traits. This is the first time the coordinated
strike or coordinated or
it's like
coordinated firepower or something.
Tactical coordination, I think.
Right, it's rerolling ones for shooting that.
Within 12 inches, and this is the first game I've taken it where I actually kind of clumped up properly and was able to make full use of it.
That walking battle line.
Yeah, usually my Archmagos is more of a melee guy, kind of tries to go and beat things up in melee. Yeah. And this one, he just kind of hung out and shot his photon thruster, which also usually doesn't do too much for me.
Yep.
And he was really able to help, like, the Castellex, the Myrmidons, the Krios, like, they all really benefited
because he was the
it.
Lacan threat, you had a chance of getting one of your squads back if I wiped them out.
Well, yeah, I technically...
Which is, like, super scary.
I technically did get, like, one of my killed squads off.
Well, you had the extra turn.
It wouldn't have done anything, because they would have walked on 6, they can't run. Yeah. So,
But what's nice is if you, like, literally want the first unit of 20 to just get killed, you put them, like, right at the end of your... Like, just right at no man's land.
I was thinking
just charge them at
but they're just too slow and too unwieldy to have gotten out of the way of
stuff. I don't know if here... Maybe on the flanks they'd be annoying, but until they get close,
they're too slow.
They can't run, right? That's the price you pay? Oh. That's the breaks. They're still, like, awesome super tech zombies.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, how about you?
MVP or which one?
Yeah, let's start off with your MVP.
It's got to be the Scorpius. It has to be because it just it saved the day. It came 1 whole point away from Oblivion. Mm-hmm. Hung that way for a while. It's nearly half the battle, and then still put the shots where it needed. It had a few bad misses, but in the end, it won the game.
Yeah,
I mean, it did. Honorable mention to the quad guns because they kind of got better over time, but there's still that 155 is. Yeah. It sucks when you hit like 16 dudes and kill like. Not 16 dudes, to say the least.
Yeah, I passed all my saves from the quad guns the last couple of turns, but the explosion is what dinged me.
It was more just, it's rare enough to get a big clump of dudes that would like all be fitting into the pie. So to get that, hit literally like the full pies with the people. Ideal situation. And it still isn't terrific.
Yeah, you killed like 5 out of 16 hits.
Yeah. For people who may not be aware, it used to be 4 small blasts, 5-5.
Yeah.
a little different when you keep hitting someone over and over with 5/5 because it's like you can get a lot.
One model could take 4 wounds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can literally quadruple the output on it.
For targeting characters, for targeting Thanatars, big monsters, it's like not good anymore. You still have Shatter, but Shatter has no AP. And for me, Shatter hits 1 out of 4 every time.
Shatter at least can chunk Thalax.
Yeah.
And say like Vorax if I ever painted those up for this.
It's okay at chunking Termies if they're 12 too.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
Terminators.
I think so.
They killed the Thalax, but like
it wasn't meaningful because like their shooting was garbage. They should have put more wounds than they shot. They shot everything and charged and like. Of course you're gonna get cut down. You have 9 chain fist attacks, so it's like it's not surprising they died, but at the same time, did not perform well. Did not survive. Had at least the Navigator survived long enough to use his awesome attack.
Been devastating.
If I managed to get your leader with the Navigator, I probably would have like always had him on my list from that point on. Like, he is really good against this army for sure. He's a scary guy.
Really low initiative, especially this list because I have a lot of infantry that are multi-wound.
It's a scary initiative test to fail.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. Like thoughts on the game, I loved it. It felt great to be able to set up a 6x4 board again. Kill Team is okay. I also would love to transition and talk about Kill Team if you want.
Sure.
Kill Team is an awesome game, but it's also a terrible game. It's really fair because by design it has to be, and what I mean is it's I go, you go, down to each individual model except for the movement phase. So it's so atomized and striated in a way that even with a really imbalanced game, short of maneuvering like absolutely shit on top of that, it's still pretty fair. But I don't know, I feel like for a game where 90% of it should be about the war gear and how you model your models, it's very little about that realistically. Like you have WYSIWYG on the gun, but a lot of stuff is farmed onto cards, and I can't stand the cards. I don't know, it's like, if you're trying to design a game from the perspective of, I want to do everything I can to keep people from like memorizing and getting good at it, it's good in that sense. Like it keeps the guy who plays more than everyone else from getting too good because it really comes down to all the factions. Like you can get great at your faction, but then there's like 19 other factions you're not going to rip the cards for. But that's my problem with it as well, is like visually it's fucking annoying. I can't look at this guy and go, he has a scope, he has a bipod, he has a backpack, he has this, he has that. It's just like, I have this card that can be played on anyone with a shotgun. Why? Well, just, it says so. Like, everything feels arbitrary, even for the stuff I like. Like, my own faction is GSC primarily. They have a card called Acid Spit, which, like, anyone can use. It's basically just a dude spits in combat and can do a mortal wound. It's cool. I like it, but, like, I have no frame of reference for it or remembering it or anything. A lot of the stuff, too, is, like, a card for one weapon. So, like, you'll have 4 weapon types, but you obviously take the one that's the best if it has that card that helps it. Like, there's some weird stuff to it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Kill Team?
Kill Team's pretty fun. You get a lot of small-scale tactical maneuvering, which is super fun. Doors and Arena are a lot of fun.
Arena is definitely the highlight of it.
Yeah, there's definitely some jankiness. There's a lot, like, Kill Team basically operates off of gotchas.
That's the problem, I think.
You will do better when your opponent does not know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's literally, the cards are, like, 80% of them are gotcha moments.
The problem as well is, although 40k in the games have always had that sort of, like, here are the rules, here are the things that break the rules, like, that's sort of, the good things break the rules or circumvent them. It has no, like, phase for anything, so a lot of the cards may have a really arbitrary, like, use this at this point. And 30k's got that too, mind you.
No,
like, but those are things that suck, because there's some cards where you're basically circumventing your buddy's turn at the start, stuff like that, which is interesting, but it's annoying to have to always, just using game theory, you're thinking what your opponent's going to do. So, like, my opponent's going to fuck me every which way, and half the time it's, not that I'm more of a competitive guy than a friendly person, but it's like some of the communication, like, involves being friendly just to understand it. And going the other way, if you want to be really anal about when the cards get applied, because, like, it is a gotcha thing, you can be super anal. Like, no, sorry, this one says before anyone is shot, or this one says...
Yeah, you just speed through it.
Yeah, so it's like, again, if there was a phase for applying the cards, or a phase for applying buffs, or, like, they all kind of worked in a similar fashion, they don't.
Hero.
They're all over the map. There's cards that you think are the same, that have, like, very similar wording, but when you get to the nitty-gritty, they're totally different. Yeah. I miss USRs. I miss the idea of having indexed knowledge that I can go and look back on, as opposed to having to relearn everything for the sake of it. And I feel like if GW was in charge of the alphabet, there'd be 400 letters. Like, it doesn't need to be this complicated. Even, again, look at Kill Team. If Kill Team had USRs, it would be fantastic. Take this scope.
Swarms.
You have night vision. Take that. It's just simple shit. It doesn't. But Arena really is great. Thank you, Mike Brandt, for your help with that. It really is the game fair, like down to its core level for the terrain. The thing I hate about Kill Team without Arena, stuff with fly, just like in 8th, there's no downside. Oh, yeah. So it's sort of like you have units that fly and units that don't. And as people who play against Tau or who has like a lot of jump stuff, like it's pretty frustrating to have no recourse for stuff just hopping over
Harlequins,
different heights wholesale. Yeah. So like we definitely didn't put anything too high in our normal Kill Team games because you're just kind of giving it to some factions. I don't know. But I'm kind of happy we're back on the 30k end of things, I think. One of the problems with Kill Team is it's very hard to document, unlike the turn-based with 30k. We just shoot as we play, mostly because it's fresh in our minds, but we can just tell you turn by turn what happened. It's kind of after the fact. Most Kill Team you're watching people play it live, which is like great to terrible.
Gods of War, may your hammer be mighty.